Thank you. Like I said earlier, my name is Clemence Hurd. I am a junior. The man who my name originated from would be my great uncle, who I've never met before, and I've never met his son either, who is actually still alive. His son lives in California, Clemence Matthew Hurd, and I am Clemence Raymond Hurd Jr. And I'm just so honored to be here tonight. I'm honored to share a stage with two wonderful women who could tell such, and I'm going to say wonderful stories, but I'm going to say that's real life, and I'm going to say that it blessed me tremendously just to hear that. And I think it's cool because I've never met my great grandfather as well, and I was sharing with Miss Erlene that they actually share LC. They share the same name, and I thought that was that was cool as well. I love names. I love to know what they mean. I think everybody's name is very important, no matter what it is, what shape or form it takes. Actually, my best friend and lady is in the back right now. Her name is Castell, and she came here with me. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. Like Mr. Bruce was saying earlier, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I left there right before Katrina, and we moved to Natchitoches, which is the total opposite of New Orleans. But it's a beautiful place. Some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life live there still to this day, and I'm very, very grateful. I actually started to write. I wrote a little bit in high school when I was still in New Orleans, but I really started to write when I got to Natchitoches. I started meeting other writers, and just wonderful people who changed my life, or I wouldn't be standing right here if it wasn't, for them. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful you're all here, and I hope you enjoy. I have a few more pieces to give you, and I hope you enjoy every piece. I hope it makes you laugh. I hope it makes you sad for a second, but then brings you up. I hope you enjoy it. And I thank you because it's freezing outside, and I know it wasn't just for me, but I am still grateful on behalf of all of us that you came out tonight to support. Okay. My next poem is going to be about the man who gave me my name. It will be about my dad. And is anyone in the house, does anyone fish, or fishermen, or fisherwomen? Awesome. We used to always go fishing when I was young. We've always gone saltwater fishing. I've never had the opportunity to go freshwater fishing, but I heard it's great as well. But this poem is going to be about the many trips we've taken, and I look up to my dad. I value our relationship dearly. We weren't always close, and I guess from his generation, I didn't understand it, but he's more stoic, and he shows his feelings more in actions. Instead of saying "I love you," he'll show "I love you" in the things he does. But this is just one of the many opportunities I had to share with him when I was younger that displayed that he loved me, dearly. So. It never family mattered how many we caught, how much your rod bent like a lowercase f, or that swear you bit your bottom lip with whenever we landed a snag. I never really cared about how far we hiked, the distance we had to compass. Even during the times you didn't let me shove my stunt bike in the back, I knew that you were very good at driving bad, at almost running over rabbits and spiked grass the way heaven knows how many hairs on our heads we have or had. I was certain you could get us there, full speed in reverse if need be. You made making project leaders look easy, tying knot after knot after knot after knot until CAN became the only form of communication I used to contact you. I was young, and the act of catching crabs happened to be a good thing. I can recall baiting them in close enough to stomp their stale, crimped shells into 2x2, divide them as if forecast equals a couple of redfish. Dr. Seuss would have been so proud. I suppose those trips are the only memories I have of you not talking so loud. He said he didn't want to risk scaring the speckled trout, the shimmering snapper, or the flounder away. So he made a dam of his black drum mouth, didn't let his mallet voice slam vibrations into the currents, always unfinished painting of entranced tranquility, humility we define as a question hook unsaid. or a drag tune too tight on a monster much too Loch Ness. I guess stingrays pride themselves in being the only kites I've never flown. Still smiling, I'd reel them in as they didn't swallow my wallowing weight. Patience is what it takes. Watching you redo line after line, do the bottom dwellers that devoured the saltwater lakes and channels that never change in the remote places that our ankles would soak. You chose bank over boat. Got double-crossed by enough black catfish to inherit bad luck, which could explain our many empty ice chests and leftover shrimp we'd deep fry whenever we finally made it home with a side of your famous mashed taters, Pops. Remember the time that gator crept up on our bones? You fired your sandpaper pistol, skipped bullets across coast, we hightailed it out of there faster than ferrets, hopped in your squeak machine and made it demonstrate the few horses it still had, hearts punching the insides of our chests like speed bags, and we laughed hysteria away. Reeked of off that had no power, called the bathtub like shotgun showers with a short straw. Soppy shoes were exiled from the house, along with their soaking sock counterparts, two names same, spilling through the back door to a few brief interviews. Did y'all catch anything? Mama asked. This time crabs definitely happening to be a bad thing. Being just back from that Mullet Spine, Beeville Peninsula, me smelling of missed fish, you, the scent of minnows, bush, and a joint's kiss gradually climbing from your crown, the sun stepping down his throne, moon full as a deer tick, tide rising like the grease in our cast iron skillet, kitchen's visibility dissolved into a thick Zataran fall, peeling shells, pulling heads, tails, and legs, deveining discouragement, simply thankful that nourishment came with just being in your company, saying, forget fillets, these shrimp are plenty, just to make our hollow hands feel better after undressing so many. As we embraced one another, to a grace you mumbled, with your eyes kind of closed, and your head slumped towards what once mattered most. Thank you. Thank you. When I was young, I would beg my dad to go fishing. And a lot of times he would go, my dad had, he has 5 brothers, and he would hang out with them or hang out with his best friend Marlon, who they went to the same school, Warren Eastern in New Orleans. And they would just hang out, and sometimes he didn't want to take me, he wanted to just hang out with the fellas. And I would beg him, and my mom would always say, come on, just let the boy go with you. You know he want to go with you. And, you know, eventually, for the most of the time, he would give in. He would say, okay, all right, come on, get in the car with me, come on. You know, but we had fun. Many times we didn't even catch anything. Many times we would just go out there, and I know that he would be disappointed, and I think that he would feel like he let me down, you know, because we went out there to catch fish, and we didn't always catch fish. But I don't think he knew when I was young that I didn't really care, you know. I mean, it was great to catch fish, but it was, you know, even better to spend that time with him. And now that I'm older, I don't get as much, you know, time with him, since he's still in New Orleans, I'm in Baton Rouge, and soon I'll be, thank God for it, soon I'll be going to grad school. So thankful for. I just got accepted into one out of the 6 I applied for, and so I'll be even further away. But so I cherish the time that we spent, and even today, the little bit of time we get to spend together. But this next poem is a really short piece. It's a piece that I just finished not too long ago, and it's I have one sibling, and she is Daddy's little girl. And they are so close. They are so close. But as the years have gone by, me and my dad have gotten to be closer. I guess as I become, you know, a man, or if I want to, you know, oh, you're a man now. I'm only 26. Oh, you're a man now. But I can relate more to my dad. And my sister, my mom, they were never close when my sister was young. But now that she's gotten older, they talk like every day. So it's just weird, you know, it's weird. And you get older, and you're like, you know, I didn't see myself having as good of a relationship as I do now. But we do. But this is about her. And when I was first writing this poem, she's the firstborn. My parents, they lost a child before my sister got here. But she's the firstborn. And I've read, thanks to my mentor, I used to be able to never get past the first maybe 3 books of the Bible. I would always start on Genesis, and I never could get through. And my mentor told me, he said, start in the New Testament, fall in love with Jesus, and go back around and read it. And I was finally able to finish. But a lot of that story, we're reading the New Testament, and I fell in love with the book of Matthew, and reading about John the Baptist, and him being born first, but considered, not first, but considered to come, after. I thought about my sister, and I thought about how hard it must be to be the first child to come, because you don't have anyone's mistakes to shape your life after. It's kind of like you make the mistakes, and then the person who comes after you, they learn from your mistakes. So it's kind of trial and error the entire time, and you're kind of getting beat up, but you're the forerunner, as John the Baptist. You're the forerunner, and so this poem is dedicated to her and all the stuff she had to go through, but also just how honored, just as honored as John the Baptist, feels or must have felt to be the forerunner. I'm sure she, as she's told me many times, she wouldn't have it any other way. So this is to her. Here it goes. What's worst about being firstborn is you have to be a headless horseman every Halloween, and you get blamed for the itchy line along sand stomach each time there's a hurricane or a two-piece chiseled from a weather vane, and your hands are always luggage with siblings or crosswalks with wheat fields and back talk where you're taught to eat fistfuls. And because of this, you have issues like in-school fight-outs and night owls who can never seem to fly you home before curfew. And what's worse is you can never sneak in through the back latch without the sidewalk of your fresh cheek being smacked in wet concrete. The example you have to set and be in the fact that you were nearly silver, that you came out preaching in bee wilderness, munching gummy locusts, smoking camel's hair, and playing trust game. Same chocolate that would have healed Elizabeth by snatching the specks from her Mustang decreased so that you prevailed. All hell, the trampoline inside a dome. Home of red hotels and green houses. Home of Harald and the gods, not gods, hot rods, and the whole shebang. The Rock really never knew when to shut its trap. Clock her once and quench your thirst. Hurt her twice and shame on you. It's funny, we were just in a shop. I don't know what's the name of the shop. They sell herbal teas and soaps and things. It's right down the street. I don't remember the name of it. But, yes, that's the shop we were just in. And my sister's birthday is March 13th, and she'll be making 30. And so it's a big year for her. And I was in there, and in Castell, me and Castell were talking, and she said, well, I said, her birthday's coming, I need to get her some stuff. And she started finding some things, and, we looked around for a while. And as we were looking around, I had like some soap for her, and I was like, I'm gonna make this birthday her, the soothing birthday, the relaxed birthday. I know this is a time that, you may start to panic, but, relaxing. So soaps and things like that. And she calls, and me and my sister, we don't talk like every day, every week. She's very busy with my nephew who is 9, and she's a teacher, and she's going to school now. She's in grad school, so she's really, really busy. So when she called, I hadn't talked to her in, as far as like over the phone, besides texting, in like a month. And I pick up the phone, and I'm just thinking, like, you must know, you must have a camera on me somewhere and know that I'm picking some stuff up for you. And we talked for a while, but she's wonderful. We didn't have the best, relationship when we were young either, because, big sister, kind of want to beat up on little brother, or, just make it hard. And then, little brother gets older, he gets a little bigger, and it's like, okay, you're not going to be beating up on me anymore. And at least that's what I told myself. And, but she's wonderful, and I thank God for her as well. The next poem I'm going to do, my sister right now, she's staying with my grandmother right now, and they're helping each other out. My sister moved out of her house to stay with my grandmother and help her out, and they help each other because it's like, okay, well, I can help you around the house and do things that you need to do, and then my grandmother's helping her by saying, well, you don't have to pay rent, or you don't have to pay this, so you can get your life in order as well. So it's like a win-win situation. And this next poem is going to be about my grandmother. And I say my grandmother because I lost my grandparents, the other three, when I was young. I lost both of my dad's parents when I was 5, and my grandmother's husband when I was 10. So I was really young. And but she's she's a survivor. My grandmother is just this, she's a soldier, and she's handicapped, and she's walked with a crutch now. She has a wheelchair and everything, but it doesn't stop her from doing whatever she wants to do. So this poem is dedicated to her. I don't title a lot of my poems, but this one is called Momo the Can Opener. My grandmother drives an '07 Scion TC. She pushes it like the prelude to a fist fight. Driving 56 and a 35, she's 69 years old, going on still alive. Her right strut has played possum for the majority of her life, but she has never resorted to using a handicap sign as a crutch. She just scribbles little hand-me-downs on her wheelchair, so whenever God calls, she'll have legacies to leave to each of us, which aren't much. Just a couple of broken can openers in a haunted house of fate occupied by her late husband, who was a war veteran in his earlier days, who stayed to himself the way love letters boomerang back whenever addressed to hate, which made my grandmother's dentures bear traps, her hands four-fingered rakes. Each time they would have company, my grandfather would evacuate to the back of the house, which may account to why I always find myself cooking in someone's kitchen. Listen, my grandmother is a widow who's quite the worrier, but I think of her even more so as a warrior. More than a woman, she's a whoa man who resides in the New Orleans East by herself in a 3-bedroom home where the hardwood floors creak. Deceased diving board, wave goodbyes, and high water lines from when Katrina drowned tree trunks in the hood around the same time, when I begin to question if houses underwater really look like tombstones from the sky. 100 helicopters are not nearly enough ceiling fans to cool God's feverish temper. I can remember being with her, stuck in traffic a day before the disaster, trying my hardest not to look backwards so we wouldn't be there when we returned. We left hideous, but pretty much just the clothes we had on. And when we got back, I learned that photographic memory cannot be framed. It was never about the possessions we lost, but the pictures of our family that brought a new meaning to losing everything. There was not a portrait to lock lips with or depiction of a slave daughter to hang. The sandbags under my grandmother's eyes could not forever restrain the floods. My grandmother taught me that sometimes even door cracks have to cry. Nevertheless, with hell coming from heaven, she refused to believe that seraphim were trying to stone us to death. So many died. But my grandmother dug her heels in, even the one that played possum for so many years and brought the home that her and my grandfather worked so hard for back to life, to add another light to a ghost town haunted by the rain, to take the eye of a violent storm and make her a cane. Each political campaign synopsis should contain a symphony synonymous to the pain of what it feels like to never see someone again. Like the pictures of the slain that floated to the top of the tears that would drop from the same place that calls our names. My grandmother taught me that you can't let your blood travel down the rivers of your flesh in vain. That to her, the word handicap doesn't mean a thing, and that just because she is 69 years old doesn't mean she'll ever agree with oral sex. My grandmother tells me that's for the dogs, the hyenas, and such. My grandmother always makes me laugh. But that's not the reason I love her so much. I love her for every bit of Jesus she stands for. Love her for how fast she drives me crazy when she starts worrying. Just recently, she told my mother that for Christmas she would like a $25 magnetic can opener. And I am sure that she'll use it on much more than just non-perishable items. My grandmother, I love her so much. I called her the other day. We were barbecuing, and I know it's cold outside, but I like to barbecue when it's cold. And it was a little bit warmer than it is now. It was definitely warmer than it is now. We were barbecuing. My grandmother loves barbecue chicken. She doesn't want any barbecue sauce on it. She just wants it to be well seasoned, and she just wants it to be on the grill, a little charred, but not burnt, but a little charred. And I called her, and I was like, hey, I was thinking about you, trying to see how you were doing. And she had just had a procedure in the hospital a couple of weeks back, and she didn't sound the same, and I called her and I said, you sound much better. She was like, yeah, I'm doing much better. I'm getting around here. I'm trying to clean up and stuff. And, Annie's here, who was my sister, Andrea. We call her Annie. She said, Annie's here, and, we're just doing some stuff around the house. And I was like, okay. And she was like, what you got going? I was like, we just, we're over here. And I said, Mama's over here. She's sleeping. And, I'm outside, I'm barbecuing, and I thought about you. I have the wings on the grill, and I thought about you. And she was like, oh, she just started to just make all this noise on the phone. She was like, oh, no. She was like, I should be there. I want to be there. And I said, I have to become rich, and I'm going to get like one of those small planes, a crop duster planes. I got to just fly down there and get you and bring you back, and we could barbecue, every weekend, and she was like, I wish I was there. I said, well, it's about to get warm, so I'll come down there and we'll, do a little cooking and stuff. And she was like, okay, that's great, that's fine, She said, I sure wish I was there though. She said, well, what else you got? Because now she wants to know the whole menu. And I'm like, well, I got that, and I got some turkey wings, the big wings, and I said, I got some burgers and throwing, and I don't even remember what we had, hot dogs, and I got some potatoes in the oven and stuff, and she's just, I hear her over the phone just licking her lips and just, yeah, that sounds great, yeah, I can't wait till it gets warmer and you're able to come down. And I'm like, yeah, but we talked for a while, but she's wonderful, and, her being the only grandparent I have left, and sometimes I don't feel like I take full advantage, of that, and, because, though we're apart, it's kind of like, I should be making it down there more because, you never know, what'll happen. Just like, for my age or anyone, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm just grateful for her patience. I'm grateful for just being understanding. If I ever have to go to New Orleans for like a day and do something and I can't make it over there, she never, it's like, oh, well, because that if I can, I'm going to make it to her house and we're going to get together. I don't want to take too much time up.
You got one little, small, short one you want to do?
Cool, yeah, I have one more. Okay. One more I do. You mind if I read one?
Yeah, no.
Okay. You know how there's certain people who read magazines, then there's certain people who kind of like look over and look at the pictures? Oh, I'm like a picture looker. So I'll look at the pictures, and I'll just look through the whole magazine. And sometimes I'll read an article if it stands out to me, and if not, I'm just like flipping through just to see stuff. Recently, I kept noticing this, but recently it just kind of sparked something in my mind. I kept noticing every magazine I was picking up at the back they had a horoscope section, and I was like, wow. That's every magazine, and I would read the horoscopes, and all of them sound like they pertain to me, or all of them sound like they pertain, and it'd be like, you're going to wake up tomorrow. It was just something like very general, like you're going to, do good, and it was saying stuff like that, and certain things it was like so generalized, and I was like, man, and I just started laughing. I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to write about it, and I had a friend, actually, I think it was Castell told me, she was like, well, that's some people's religions, horoscopes are some people's religions and things like that. And I was like, well, I didn't know that. And so I wrote a poem to reflect that and to reflect, kind of like that as a religion, but also the humor that I found in some of the horoscopes. And I was like, wow, so this is my take. It's called Horror-scopes. And this would be that last. This would be the last poem I do for tonight. Okay. Pisces, you're a great catch. Generally, you're compatible with wet, dry, wet, fry, ketchup, and red potatoes. However, you are also able to be pan-seared. This year, as all of the others, is your year, alongside sheep with a big horn, Capricorn. Trust your instincts and the fact no one would dare donkey your back. But being born on a bicuspid cusp make the funnels next to your ears perfect enough shofars. So far, you're a radical who enjoys 2-week sabbaticals and kinda resembles Aries. No relation, not identical. You're a natural introvert who loves work. But around others, you're known to shake your derriere. You're very scared of tusks, though not headbutts. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. The hooks that house your head, my choruses, Chori, Gemini. You're a wonderful two-headed thunderbolt with a kite for a back and a knack for paying attention to the key to open the door to your house of cards instead of the blackjack table. When asked what you are by the casino guard and awarded a bipolar label, politely ask their sign. And when they respond malign, rudely yell out, who the hell would want that? Cancer. As far as the disease, you suck. But I am a sucker for crab claws. Crab claws are like seafood suckers, minus the bubblegum brain. You're not a dancer. The two-step shuffle is all you can muster up. Aquarius. You're like common sense fused with Aquaman. Badu meets Ariel, stereotyped without a comma splice, nicer than most Scorpio. You creepy, crawly, 8-leg hauling crawfish. I wish for corn and sausage. I wish for a big shot and some butter, Orville and an Oscar, Leo. Nardo the Capricorn? You were born with a mane and no teeth. A roar and a scar sliced down your left cheek. King of Judah, jungle, Judas juggle your Denari, Sagittarius. You're a robber of poor and giver to rich. You're never sorry for snitching on Cupid, and your arrows point every which way not to go, Virgo. You look like Virgin, but my parents would be missed if this was so. Your purpose is nonchalance, and favorite quote is, see ya when I see ya, and finally, Libra. You seesaw, you fancy parking meter. You are a coat rack for Kojak, weight loser and buzzer beater. You enjoy Kodak moments like walks on the beach, as we all do, good company with a window seat, as we all do, and a gavel to throw down at your feet, as we all do. You start on Luke, speaking of the daily cross and equilibrium, and wind up skipping Revelations for constellations in Elysium. Thank you. Thank y'all.